Graff going in front of the net. Matt Celebrini threw one that way, and they score. Colin Graff, stick handle past Gustafson, tucked home a backhander, and the Sharks, for the second time in the season series, win in overtime at Grand Casino Arena. They've won 4 in a row for the first time since the 21-22 season. They rally in the third, and they beat the Wild in sudden death overtime, 2-1 the final.
Second time this year. Third time out of 3 tries, the Sharks take the Wild past regulation, and they get the overtime win. That includes tonight at Grand Casino Arena. Kevin Fallness downstairs in the Bob Kurtz Radio Center, upstairs in the Al Shaver press box. Tom Reid was there and bared witness to what happened tonight for the Wild as they blow the 1-0 lead and end up seeing the Sharks skate past them and grab the extra point. That Sharks team is going to be a pain in our backside for many years to come. At least you're not in the Pacific Division, but still, you got to deal with the Sharks here in the Western Conference, and that's a good team just getting better. Tom Reid, you saw this game, and I thought through 40 minutes, the Wild were controlling things. The problem is, like you and Joe say, you let them hang around, and in the end, it came back to bite them.
Yeah, you're right, Kevin. That's what I said to some of the guys up here. I just don't like the way the thing is going after 2 periods. It just seemed that the Sharks were starting to pick up a little bit, and, of course, the penalty to Minnesota results in a power play goal in this hockey game, which is not a good penalty to take in that one. Yurchuk is going to get credit for that one, but, you know, you got to be careful what you're doing when you're on the ice. You can't put your team shorthanded. But that being the case, Minnesota has some chances tonight. I thought that the goaltender was good on both ends. I can't fault either one of them, but no chance for Gus on that last one. It was just a nice play of Celebrini leading the way there to pick up yet another point. 2 points in this hockey game for him tonight.
What did you see in overtime? The Wild, once again, kind of controlled things for the most part, but never did end up with a shot credited to them on Askarov. And then on the other hand, they get the one shot, and it beats Philip Gustafson to grab the victory and the extra point. What did you see in the extra session?
Yeah, you want that extra session. I said at the beginning, you want to win the draw there, but not, because now you're controlling the puck. You've got plenty of space to move out there and make some good things happen, but they did not. And you give the credit to the Ducks, or excuse me, to the Sharks, because they just came in here. And you could just sense as we got towards the latter part of that period, once they scored that goal to tie up the game, all of a sudden it started to shift a little bit in their favor, and they took advantage of it when they had the chances, and they made the most of it.
All right, so you put this one in your back pocket. You would have loved to get 2. You got to settle for 1. Still 3 out of a possible 4 points to open up the 5-game homestand, which continues on Saturday. And as good as the Sharks are, the Anaheim Ducks also making noise in the Pacific Division, Tom, and that's what's next on the docket.
Yeah, they're number 1 in the Pacific Division, and they're playing really well. That's where Joe Quenneville back in the behind the bench once again, the National Hockey League, after being out for the last few years. But he has made a difference with that hockey club. He's given them confidence, and they've played up to the standards, and that's what they're looking for. But Minnesota just, I don't know, they've had what? Is that the 5th time they've lost? It's the 5th time that they've been in 5 games that have been decided in overtime. They've won 1 of those 5, and they've got to find a way to correct that. But you shouldn't get to that point. They should not have gotten to that point. They should have been able, hopefully, to take this one, especially with the shots on net they had. They just didn't capitalize when they had to.
No doubt about it. By the way, Tom, looking at the out-of-town scoreboard, told you about that heavyweight matchup in the Western Conference. Avalanche are probably the number 1 team in the West with a 10-1-5 record. They're hosting the Ducks, who are riding a 7-game win streak. That game is tied 1-1, 16:36 left to go in the second, and on the board tonight for the Ducks, Leo Carlson with his 11th of the season. So They're feeling real good about themselves, and that's luckily the Wild have 3 days off in between games where they can rest, relax, and be ready to go Saturday night, because they're going to have to be.
You're going to have to, and you're right, Kevin. And the thing is, in that dressing room, you have to believe that you can win hockey games. You have to have that swagger about your game, and Minnesota loses that a little bit because they're not able to win in these overtimes. They have to be better than they have been in OT, and as a result of that, right now they in the locker room, even though they get a point, they have to lick their wounds and go on to the next game. But it's disappointing, I'm certainly, for the players as well.
All right, Tom, the players have earned some time off. So too have you. Enjoy the rest of your week. We'll talk to you Saturday.
Thanks, Kevin.
Tom Reid upstairs in the Al Shaver press box following a disappointing 2-1 overtime loss to the San Jose Sharks. Yes, the Wild